you're not in San Diego probably because you are watching this, which means you're somewhere else in the world. But it's day 2 of Comic-Con, and we are very excited because inevitably, as in all Comic-Cons, the height of geek things, we are here to talk to you today about the Cats trailer. I'm Roth Cornet. I'm joined by Kim Taylor Foster.
Hello.
You guys have probably seen Kim on some of our
junkets. But they might have thought she was just like a CGI creation because no one was ever sitting next to her.
Yes.
So now, yeah.
Now you know she's a real human being and not a life model decoy, as you probably assumed. Dan Murrell is here.
Yes, hello.
You're ready to shenan today, you told me.
I'm ready to shenan, yeah.
To shedan?
With shenanigans. And yes, people were talking about yesterday, oh, Dan's man-spreading on the couch.
He's very tall.
It has no back. I'm on the only part of the couch that has no back.
He's got.
So I've got to lean on. It's why I'm not. I look like Frankenstein with my legs here, but it's all right. We're just gonna have a good time.
He's very tall. That's what's I hear. You're an impressive human person. Here you go. Eric Goldman is here with us, and joining us as always during the 2 days that we are at the con 3 is Chewie.
Chewie.
Oh, wait, he's got help.
Yeah,
Yesterday
Batman
he was in big
has come to
trouble.
rescue.
But now Batman's like, hey, get the hell away from my Wookiee buddy.
Yeah,
I made some phone calls. We're all good. Don't worry about it.
That's good.
We're going to be going to Chewie periodically throughout the show to fact check us and to ask for his opinions. And I do like the evolving storyline of Chewie and his imminent peril.
And Billy's got a mic.
No, Chewie's
I don't know who you're talking about, but
Chewie's got a
I'm just enjoying my con here. So
I didn't know that Chewie learned English. I'm sorry.
It's a universal translator.
All right.
We ported it over from Star Trek into Star Wars.
Skywalker's gonna have some big changes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
it is in the next couple of. So let's
San
talk
Diego
about.
exclusive.
Okay, full chaos already. I say yes, team. I say yes. I didn't think we had the mayhem makers today, but we do.
What have you brought me into?
I apologize.
We've got chaos. We've got cats.
We are going to have a good time today. We're going to talk about the Cats trailer. One of the things that we talked about heading into the Comic-Con was how many of the studios that had not paid the dollars to come were actually just going to release things while they were here, while they were not here. And the answer was Universal with all of the things, which we will be getting to. But the first thing that they did release was the Cats trailer yesterday. A number of you have been asking us what we thought about it. I haven't seen it yet. Everybody else has, so I'm going to watch
really
this.
not watched
I've really not watched it.
I am for a treat.
I'm going to watch this.
Oh my gosh.
While you guys discuss, I'm going to have my first view
I described
Cats.
this to Roth yesterday. She said, "How was the Cats trailer?" And I said, "Apocalyptic." was my
Nightmarish.
Nightmarish, apocalyptic.
Do you know what occurred to me about it
Let's make sure we always see some angle of Roth watching.
was how much Judi Dench actually reminded me of John Candy in Spaceballs.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see that.
I would love if she said that was her influence.
I'm so curious to hear what Roth thinks when she's done seeing this.
It's aggressively weird. I will say, because I saw it after everyone.
Casey, stay on run. Never cut away from Roth.
I saw it after everyone in this room except Roth, obviously. And so it almost couldn't live up to everyone talking about it. So it wasn't maybe the worst thing ever to me. It's just so freaking weird. It's just so like, what is this? I don't get it. It's a very, very strange thing.
It looks awful. It looks terrible. I mean, I don't mean like as a movie.
Look at that natural reaction.
What do you mean, then, Dan?
I just mean they look terrible. Like they look like nightmare creatures.
I mean, Ian McKellen looked quite good. I think he was rocking that.
But he didn't move. Like anytime anyone moved,
Yeah,
their
fair
face
point.
moved. It's what?
Although Lon had a pretty great tweet where he put a still of Ian McKellen with the "We are the future, Charles, not them."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's just so because they
Roth's
just
getting
released.
into the home stretch.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell.
They had that behind the scenes stuff of them on set doing the mocap, and now to see what they actually look like. Yeah, it feels like its own parody.
It does. It
know?
feels like a Tropic Thunder-esque parody
Yes,
of
that's
what
a
a
good
Cats
analogy.
movie
I
could
mean,
be.
do you
Right.
think it's going to be huge, right?
I
Christmas.
think it's going to do well. I
Yeah.
think it's going to do well.
Uh-oh.
What if she just can't function the rest
I
of the
know.
day?
Is she broken?
They were asking us before we started filming to get our tone on laughter,
Yes.
and it turns out they were very correct to do that for audio reasons. I've never quite seen her like this.
Dan described it as apocalyptic. So we're all gonna die. That's what it's gonna be.
And that will survive.
And this will survive. This will be when the alien species come, thousands of years from now, to the once thriving Earth. This is the only thing that they will find as a historical record of what happened on our planet.
It's
Oh my God.
so freaking
It's,
weird.
you know what I respect about it though?
Yeah.
It's taking a big swing. Like it is. It's taking a big
It's
swing.
not going small.
They're doing the full, like, have you ever done an acting class?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Acting class?
No, but
So-
I've seen them.
You haven't done an acting class?
What's wrong with you?
So you know, like when they try to get you to like embody a snow cone or whatever, something
Yeah.
ridiculous, like that's basically, and you feel like so dumb, and that's when you realize, oh, I can't be an actor because I have way too much humility and not enough talent. And they're going for it. Look at them. They're fully committing
that
to the
tail,
given
where's that coming from?
circumstances.
I know. It looks like it's coming out of her butt. Just saying.
What if the trailer is deceiving us, and then once you see it fully put together, it's really good?
No.
I mean, I'm gonna see the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, I think we all.
I feel like this trailer made it a must-see, even if some people are gonna go see it. Well, a lot might go see it. Ironically, I almost feel like, yeah, this is curiosity. But also, I saw some people say, oh, it's opening the same day as Rise of Skywalker, but it's Christmas time when you can release multiple huge movies for the next 2 weeks. They get to get all that money. I think a lot of people, a lot of families might end up going to see Cats.
I can only hope that these effects are for some reason. It looked like human faces were trying to escape
It was
from the
terrifying.
cat bodies. Like there
Yeah.
was some kind of a John Carpenter thing
Yeah.
situation where like there was a human trapped
Yeah.
inside of a cat, and they're like, I gotta get out of here, and then it just like goes back into a cat. None of it.
What
Why
am
is Rebel
I?
Wilson a human
What is
being?
this Rebel
She's
Wilson
not-
moment?
she's a
makes-
cat.
This is not. And then
Cats
why is the cat in
don't
the mouse trap?
Have her head.
Primal scream of
Cats are not
anguish
proportioned
as she
like
realizes
that.
that she's some sort of horrific nightmare creature.
Yeah.
They have human.
This is a body horror.
Yes, this is a
It's what's
body
happening,
horror
I think.
movie.
Yeah.
And it's not so
Cronenberg.
much the bizarre nature of the film, which that's one thing, but it looks like a Cronenberg. Like,
Yeah.
help me! Like Jennifer Hudson is screaming to be let out of this hellish human being trapped in a cat body. They've got to work on the effects. Number one.
No, you just sold me that they don't.
Why would they release that with those effects? Why would they do those effects to begin with and not just put everybody in a cat costume, which would seem to be much cheaper and also better looking and also much easier? It's,
Dan's
I don't-
shutting down, and Roth went into
Yeah.
I'm looking to watch it
weird
again.
me because I love Les Miserables, and he made
too.
the very weird choice to shoot one of the most sweeping musicals of all time, 3 inches from every actor's face for 2.5 hours.
that.
And so he's got a very interesting take when it comes to musicals, and I will see what happens.
It's a weird thing because I think I'm gonna backtrack what I said because on some level it is committing to what it is and like just putting them on big furniture and doing it as if it's a play, but then they do bring in the effects, and I think that's where it's like you kind of, I'm gonna take back what I said and say you have to do one or the other. Either you have to do this fully like Lion King and just CGI them and animate them and make them be actual cats. With the voices of these human actors. And by the way, this cast is insane. Or you just have to fully roll into the silliness of them Taylor Swift climbing on a
Idris
huge
Elba.
chair together with Judi Dench and Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
Which all of it, like this is, Kim, how highly are you anticipating this movie?
I'm very much so, you know, and it reminded me a little bit of Moulin Rouge.
Oh.
Yeah, the aesthetics, the colours, I guess.
Oh
you
yeah, I
know.
can see with the production design. Yeah.
That's true. Although Moulin Rouge, I liked it.
You're allowed to
You're
like
gonna freaking love Cats.
All right, that's Cats. I want to know, like, have you guys tracked the social media response?
Look at
Is
that.
there anything?
Go back.
See, John Candy.
Roll it
That
back,
was John
JT.
Candy.
Roll it back to Jennifer Hudson. It looks
Oh.
like a human face trying to escape a cat body. Like,
in anguish.
like when Mark Ruffalo was trying to turn into the Hulk and
She's
Vanilla Lane kept going
anguished.
like, no! And then it would go back. That's terrifying.
It is terrifying, but delightful. No,
I don't know.
our entire crew is slowly shaking their heads. I see nothing delightful before me right now. How is this our next countdown for the box
Oh,
office?
100%. This is we're next Tuesday when we're back in the studio for charting, we are starting the countdown to Cats
Countdown.
next week.
The Cats.
One little meow at a time. We will get there together. The other weird thing to me is that they had all of these sequences in which Taylor Swift was like playfully climbing on things, but it was all set to Memories, which is this very mournful song. So like, what's the tone of this?
I know, but I will say, because I've never saw Cats, and I was raised like pretty.
It's a weird, bad musical.
And I saw,
That is
I
not- it's
saw
a weird bad
a
musical.
lot of musicals, yeah, but not
the
Cats.
best version of Cats is Kimmy Schmidt's final season's interpretation of Cats.
But that song, you do know that song.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's like that's the song you have to play in the trailer, and it's called Memories. So if you don't really know the lyrics, you're just like, yeah, memories of a show that I never saw or I did see, and here it is as a nightmare on film.
It's a horrible nightmare. It was a horrible nightmare as a play too. So I saw that as a little kid in New York, and I was like sitting on the aisle seat, and the cats come into the audience, and I fully pushed one back in his face because I was like, "What the fuck,
Back
man?"
creature.
Sorry, Bella. Sorry, Chewie.
Dun, dun, dun.
Any final thoughts on Cats, Kim?
I am, whatever you say, I'm excited for it. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued too, and you know what? There's no bigger cat person, I think, on this table than me. Maybe Eric. It's a little close.
It's
but-
set up to blow my expectations away. I'll say
Yeah.
that. If it's amazing, then it will be the biggest turnaround for me of any movie in recent memories.
Well,
No pun intended.
it was a big swing on the part of Universal. This was from the get-go, like such a weird combination of people. Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift, James Corden, Rebel Wilson, Jason Derulo, Idris Elba, Ian McKellen, and Judi Dench all together dressed up as cats. So that alone was enough to get us in the theaters, I think, and this only sealed the deal. I do think it certainly speaks volumes about, I think this is the herald to the Four Horsemen, this movie. Like the minute it's released, I think that's when the apocalypse.
Horse
This is
Cat.
the Silver Surfer
This is the
of movies.
Exactly. So, go watch Cats and prepare to die. Hug your loved ones. Universal also released a couple of other things. They decided to try and own this messaging in these few days where there wasn't much else going on, frankly. They released the teaser trailer for the next two Halloween movies.
More like a teaser announcement, I'd
It's like
say.
a teaser announcement because
Yeah.
it's the footage from the last movie. They are called Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Let's unpack that.
This was, we should say, Bloody Disgusting did have this rumor a couple weeks ago. They thought that they were going to film two sequels back to back. They'd heard a weird thing. They might release them within the same month. That second part wasn't true, but the first part was, that they're going to shoot these two movies together. And it seemed like Jamie Lee was obviously coming back anyway. We saw those tweets of her at Blumhouse and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was I was a little let down by the latest Halloween movie, largely because I felt that it was promising something that it did not end up being. So, we'll see. Maybe if you recontextualize it as the first movie in a new trilogy of films, then it may hold more weight for me. But it's, two more Halloween movies, but with Jamie Lee Curtis, and see what happens.
I'm excited for. I like the new Halloween more than you. It wasn't perfect to me, but there was a lot of things I liked about it. I remember when they were making it, they did initially say that they had like an idea for 2 movies. It now has turned into 3. Obviously everyone. Yeah, Halloween itself is a long-running franchise. They're promising an ending that we all know will not be the final Halloween movie ever. We know it. Even if it's the final Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode Halloween movie, maybe it's not, since we've seen that
Right.
character story end, and then we got a reboot. But at the same time, yeah, promising that this is a complete trilogy, I think is fun. And I love the slashers, so I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I liked Halloween 2 more than you, Dan. But, my first thought was Halloween Ends For now.
For now.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
think that it's a bad title. Like Halloween Kills. I mean, sure, this is what the franchise does. You are accurate in this.
It's like machete.
Yeah,
Machete
you know what I mean?
kills.
You're just, or it's just sort of like naming your dog Dog. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you're just stating the facts of the situation. Like these are the
Yeah.
given circumstances. It's Halloween, people will die. Brutally by the hands of Michael Myers, and Laurie will also be there.
Yeah, well, it feels tongue in
but-
cheek as well, which
yeah.
feels a bit misplaced for the franchise.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird little winky title. So many people made the machete thing because a lot of people said Halloween in space. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
yeah,
feels like
yeah.
that should be the next title. But it was interesting because with Danny McBride, people were like, oh, is this going to be comedic? It wasn't. I mean, there were a couple moments like the Bon Me conversation that felt like a Danny McBride comedic aside. But yeah, it is a weird title. I guess they're trying to avoid, because they used to use the subtitles "The Blank of Michael Myers," so it's like this is their distinction. Now
Yeah.
we're like all about Halloween something.
Halloween. Well, for initially, and this is, I think Halloween was a little bit ahead of its time initially on the third one, because it was trying to do something that is done a lot now, which is basically do kind of like what is the word I'm looking for? Thank you.
Anthology.
Anthology
Yeah.
series is the word. Good morning. Anthology series. And I am a big defender of Season of the Witch. I think
love
it's a cool movie.
People came
Yeah.
around on it, didn't they? When
They
it
did.
came
Yeah.
out, it was maligned, but yeah.
It just wasn't a Michael Myers movie, right? And so here we go. Halloween ends, and inevitably, we were talking about this before the show, is like Michael Myers has to get captured and then be used genetically to engineer some kind of face cream. I feel like that does need to happen at a certain point. Maybe when it ends, Laurie starts a new business. She deserves it. She's been through a lot. Let's let the woman be an entrepreneur.
Well, home defense,
I'd love to see it go in that direction.
We're kidding. Don't do not yell at me in the comments. I like Halloween Kills. Halloween Ends is just a lie.
Part of me wishes you could never market it because it's the worst movie title in the world. But I would have loved if they would have called it like November 1st.
Yeah.
Because then that's really the end of, like
Yeah.
after Halloween, you've been stuck on Halloween forever. But yeah, good luck marketing a movie called November 1st.
Yeah, Halloween November
Terrible.
1st.
Yeah, that's awful. That's a terrible title. They would never not make any money at all.
I think they're trying to I don't know what they're trying to set up. Is it setting up the end of Laurie or setting up the end of Michael, which we've seen both a ton. Michael, they're both very resilient. Maybe they should both be studied.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that part of the appeal for me on this one, this new one that came out, was the idea that they were going to strip back that supernatural part of Michael Myers, this thing that he's not unkillable. He's a mortal person who can die just like anyone else can die. And then now you've already played with that concept at the end of the last one where, spoilers, it's in that teaser, but it looks like he's just consumed by flame. And then apparently he's back, maybe, or who knows. But unless they're playing with the idea of it's not Michael Myers, it's somebody else, that could be intriguing. But if you're gonna the end of Michael, it's you're already kind of again laying these seeds though. But is it though? And it's I hope that they try to lay more path of if they're gonna end this story, then do that.
They did that with Jason once, didn't they? With pretending or saying it's not Jason, it's someone else.
Oh, yeah.
And that
They
was,
did.
A new
Yeah.
beginning, Roy.
Yeah.
Roy the
Not-
paramedic.
Well, but they also did with Halloween, where they had Jamie step in and kind of embody Michael. So it's part of your mind goes to, if it's another killer, you want that killer to have been traumatized by Michael, and then this is where they take it. But we've already sort of seen that. It's a little tricky because they have set that up in the last movie, they were concluding the story of Laurie and Michael, and for them not to. Sure. I mean, I love Jamie Lee Curtis, so I will watch her in anything,
Yeah.
And I love the Halloween movies, but particularly the first one. What's the worst thing they could do? I think we've given some terrible ideas already. Let's get worse.
Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, just probably the worst thing they can do is keep continuing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it end with Halloween Ends.
Bring back the whole druids and runestones aspect from Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers with Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's always a good thing. But that movie was the worst and funniest example of over-explaining the mythology of a villain who doesn't need to be explained except that he's an evil guy. So bring back the runes and the druids. That's what I say. But don't.
Yeah.
That's the worst idea.
think the worst thing I can imagine them doing is they do like the thing where it's like Laurie has a psychic break and then she becomes Michael Myers.
Yeah.
But there's like no,
Yeah.
don't do the thing where like she split personalities and then Michael is a part of her and then
Right.
the third one is about just tell the story.
Yeah, fair enough. We've given you lots of really terrible ideas, Universal. Do none of them. Thank you. Smash that bell. Smash that bell. Smash that bell.
grab the
Chewy,
hammer.
chewy. Where's food?
Whoa.
Thank
There was a bell back
you.
there.
He's
Oh.
very stern, Chewy, isn't he?
Subscribe
So
to.
stoic.
So stoic.
I'm just
Smash that
hanging
bell.
back.
Subscribe to Fandom Entertainment. Blah
Just
blah
so
blah
you
blah.
guys know, if anyone's trying to watch us and follow along, the Russo's panel is happening right now. Nothing breaking as of yet if something does, but they're just answering fan questions. I think that's mostly what it's just going to end up being.
Okay.
They have a special surprise guest that they've been teasing.
But if you would like to know, they did say that Mark Ruffalo and Anthony Mackie ruined the most takes, and Scarlett Johansson was the most one-take actor in all the movies.
It looks so stupid.
I'm trying to commit to your stupid headline.
It looks so dumb. Oh God, I love it. The fact is, yesterday I was like, "Hey, Billy, I want you to have a mic and talk like Chewy," and then now it's happening. Like, who gets to just do that in their life? This is me. #blessed. Hey, we're gonna have our panel tonight here at Comic-Con. Kim is gonna be there. Eric's gonna be there. Dan is gonna be there. Spencer Gilbert, Joe Starr, all your favorites, Danielle and Ed. We will be movie fighting. We will be showing an honest trailer. We will be showing some upcoming new video series that we are working on. We are very excited to share those with you. Just want to share them with ourselves. Like, I guess you'll happen to be there. So come. It's at 8:30 to 10 in room 6A.
A world premiere.
Yes.
An honest trailer that you've never seen before.
Yes.
And the fun thing is the audience can help. We watch and we listen for laughs. So if you hate it, then we'll go back and rewrite it. Maybe.
Maybe.
Or not.
So come. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will be there afterwards as well, hanging out for a bit.
Yeah, we usually hang out if we can, unless they're like, brooming us out of the building. We love to hang out and say hi to everybody, everything we can do.
Sounds good. Top Gun trailer came out yesterday too, you guys.
Kim was in the room.
I was in the
Surprise
The
appearance.
surprise Tom Cruise. We just want to get our reactions to this. Like, I was fully sold on this trailer. I did not think it would get me. We had talked about when this was announced, I think, whenever 2 million years ago now, we were saying like, oh, the trailer was going to have like the slowed down version of Danger Zone, and then you would just zoom in and it would be one lonely tear with Goose's reflection on Maverick's face. As a joke, they sort of rode that tonal line, but in such a beautiful way. It looks great. That's Tom Cruise doing all those stunts. Like, that's actually
Flying that
him
plane.
flying that
Yeah.
plane.
He said when he came out and introed
Yeah.
the film, yeah.
So what did he say?
Yeah, exactly that. He said all the stunts were real.
It looks
Looks
amazing.
really, it's shot really well. It looks really cool to see that. I mean, Tom Cruise obviously is at this state of like, it has to be him doing it, right? Like, it's just gotta be him flying that plane.
Yeah.
Did you have cynicism about it?
Well, anytime that they do the whole we're going to go back to a movie from 30 years ago
Yeah.
and bring in X character's son, and there's always a little bit of like okay, but it looks, I mean, when I say, again, kind of like how Cats looked terrible, that looks amazing. And that's the thing about Tom Cruise is that's been his brand, really. I think smartly, as he's gotten older, he's sort of evolved as an actor and now a producer and creatively involved in the films. It's like he understands that like part of his appeal now is he's giving people an experience. He wants a Mission Impossible movie to not just be a movie, but like he wants to do the stunts. He wants to like go bigger because he wants it to be an experience. He wants it to look great. He wants people to see him do all these things. And it seems like they're doing the same thing with Top Gun. Is like, for him, a big part of it is not just that it's a Top Gun movie, but like he's giving the audience a great ride. And he wants this movie to be really something special to watch. And so, creatively, I don't know, you can go so wrong so many different ways in trying to rehash and revisit something, but I do like the commitment to we're not gonna do CG, we're gonna go out and fly real planes and shoot it in a way that's very cinematic and can kind of really capture.
Yeah, and if you bring some of that Mission Impossible vibe to it, it's going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I read an article this morning. I think it was Mike Ryan from Up Rocks, or an article that he was observing that if you listen to what Ed Harris is telling him at the beginning of the trailer, there's a very meta aspect to it, basically saying, "Why are you, Tom Cruise? You're still at this level. You're still a captain. You're still kind of doing a thing you did 30 years ago." Because it's like Tom Cruise has not gone the route of doing Oscar roles. I mean, he was nominated for Oscars a lot in the past, but in the past 20 years now, it's action star Tom Cruise, and now he's playing Maverick again. And there seems to be, and Christopher McQuire, of course, who basically writes all his movies now, came aboard this. So it almost feels like they might have put in this little meta aspect of why are you doing this still?
Yeah.
Why have you not settled down? And why are you still? And there's even the and he refused to die because it's we joke but not about these stunts and how far he pushes it. So it is interesting that there might be a little bit of reflection in this movie.
Well, the other thing, and then one of the things that I was noticing, particularly in the volleyball scene, was all of the people of his generation could no longer do that. They could no longer be an action star. And
Yeah.
I mean, his whole response should just be because I can be. I mean,
Yeah.
how old is this man?
Sorry, I'm reading about the panel as I'm staring blankly.
Chewie, you can read?
Yeah.
57.
What the hell was that?
7.
Okay.
57. This
Kermit's
man
back
is
there.
almost 60 years
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
That's insane. When he was at the panel, did he seem human?
Incredibly, yes, he did, and very bashful. You know Tom Cruise. He played the bashful role very well. But yeah, very humble, very human.
Was there anything? Sure.
Or
Was
is he
there-
an alien?
I don't know. It's very unclear. He only eats seeds, so hard to say.
Whoa.
Yeah. He eats out of a bird feeder every day.
Well, it's working for him.
Yeah, it works. Whatever works.
Whatever you're doing, it's working.
Yeah.
Was there anything?
He
yeah.
uses the Michael Myers face cream.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. First, if anybody's genetically modified, it is Tom Cruise. Anything interesting revealed in the panel or different?
No, he came out, did a couple of minutes. The trailer came on. It was tagged on to the end of the Terminator panel, so
It was just to wow with the Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Hall H is always a very electric atmosphere, but and obviously when Tom Cruise comes out, more so. But the trailer itself, did it seem to play strongly to
really
the crowd?
well? Yeah, I mean, some people had left early because they'd replayed the Terminator footage, and for some reason, some people didn't stay for that, and so missed out on Tom Cruise. But yeah, the trailer played brilliantly. There was a lot of noise. So.
Yeah, I was outside waiting to come in for Batman Beyond's panel, and I was like, wow, we're running late. Why are we not going in? And I look at Twitter, I go, oh, we're not going in because Tom Cruise made a surprise appearance and is on stage right now and showing a Top Gun trailer. So
Very, very, very smart. But Paramount was going to come.
Yeah.
We had talked about this before coming to Comic-Con too. They were coming with Terminator, and it just made sense that they would do a surprise Tom Cruise, because if they're here, they may as well make some kind of splash.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit harder with the Terminator. Another trailer that came out yesterday was for the HBO series His Dark Materials. I think we've probably talked about this quite a bit on the show. I'm a huge fan of His Dark Materials. The book series, so is Joe Starr, Max Dionne, our producer, all of us, huge fans. They obviously totally blew it with The Golden Compass, the movie that was made based on that series. And now we have this new HBO series. Thank God. It looks great. James McAvoy and Lin-Manuel Miranda, Daphne Keane, Ruth Wilson. I cannot wait for this. You were in the panel, Kim.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I mean, you saw the footage. It looks great. And when you compare it to the effects on the animals, in particular in The Golden Compass, obviously it's come on leaps and bounds. And this is a series where that was a film, set up to be a film series. But it's going to be nice. I think there's 8 episodes to see the story told over that length of time. Some of the things, Ruth Wilson said something which I loved. She said, I had a man called Brian playing my monkey.
That's a great sentence.
And
We
he's
can all
coming
use
back
a
for
Brian.
the next season, so...
I'm just thinking of the logistics of Brian leaping onto things. You know?
Did you see Cats?
Yes.
First of all, can we say what a big day it was for cool James McAvoy trailers yesterday?
Yes.
It was like he like bookended the day. Yeah. He was all over Comic-Con yesterday. I have not read these books, and maybe that's why I didn't hate that movie. I didn't love it. I don't barely remember that movie. But I thought this was a really cool trailer. There's something, it really, HBO still has this, certainly we talked about how will the HBO Max sort of dilute the brand. But you look at this trailer, you're like, yeah, that's an HBO series. Like, it just, like, there's the epic feel of it, the actors they got to be in it. Right now to get Lin-Manuel Miranda as like and McAvoy as cast members on your show. Yeah. It just feels, appropriately like this sort of big epic thing. And I was really excited.
He comes out singing a duet with his demon, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Really?
In a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
That's how you want to do it.
Yeah, I'm coming in totally cold. I didn't even see the gold.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay.
No, I had know nothing about this. So.
And what did you think of the trailer?
Yeah.
It looked intriguing. It was kind of a throwback in a way to like the stuff that they were making like a decade ago, like the novelizations. But I like the idea of, and I wish they would pursue more the idea of doing things like things like his Dark Materials as TV shows, because the adaptations are always so hard, and you always see movies like, I know that Ender's Game was a movie that people liked a lot, but they didn't feel like the adaptation was great. And I like the idea of maybe if it's a long book or a series of books, if you have a network that's going to back it, of doing it as a TV show, because you have so much more real estate narratively to do stuff. So I'm looking forward to being introduced to this world through that, because it certainly intrigued me as somebody who didn't know anything really about it. We should note that it says his darkest materials. It's called his dark materials, but I do like the idea that we've already given it the sequel.
Yeah, we have darkest materials. I will say, just to give context to Kim was talking about his demon. I always said his daimon, and maybe it's pronounced demon. But what that is not a demon. It's the little animals are basically the external manifestation of your soul. So it's like it's with you all the time, but it is very much a part of you. It's like if your soul was outside of your body, that's the daimons. And when you're animals,
when you're children, they're changeable. They change their form, different animals, and then when you go through puberty, it settles on a particular form. So Lord Asriel, Asriel, who is James McAvoy's character. His demon is a snow leopard.
And then hers is a monkey, played by George?
Brian
the monkey.
Well,
George
no
Brian
disrespect.
And so there's, in any event, all of those animals are, which I thought was interesting about the trailer, is like they didn't give any of that context about why these animals are running around or what their significance is.
And the animal, you kind of choose it in a way, not deliberately, but so the animal that it becomes does reflect the person that you are. Yeah.
You guys are into it.
It's great.
There's mythology going on here. Yeah.
No, it's so good. So if you haven't read his Dark Materials, you should. Have you read it?
I read some of it. I didn't complete the series.
I really loved it. I really, really loved it. So I'm excited about this. I've been waiting for someone to remake it in my mind properly. I had started a petition. And then look, it was effective. Petitions work. Just kidding. They're terrible ideas.
You should have printed out billboards and bus stop ads.
There you go.
Yes.
And then maybe
we also learned yesterday at the Terminator panel that Eddie Furlong would be returning. As we don't know, young or old John Connor, was he going to be de-aged? Is he going to...
Yeah, there was no mention of how James Cameron addressed the panel at the start via a live feed and just dropped it in. And it was never mentioned again. So, and there was no footage of Edward Furlong, so...
Was he at the bottom of the ocean? Was he like in a submarine at the bottom of the ocean? Like orbiting the moon or something?
Well, Danielle went to investigate at the press line for the Terminator, so we're going to play that for you and reveal all of the secrets that she got. I don't know what happened there, actually. I'm going to find out, too.
Hello, welcome back. It's me, Danielle Radford. I am here with Screen Junkies and Fandom. I am at the Terminator Dark Fate red carpet event at San Diego Comic-Con, where I'm going to get to talk to the stars and creators of the film and ask them what 5 words they would use to describe the Terminator franchise. Can you describe the Terminator franchise in 5 words?
Killer robots, taking out humans.
That's amazing.
Iconic, revolutionary, fun, action-packed. I know this is not one word, but it's just, I feel like the first female superhero is Sarah Connor.
Guns, robot, blood, technology, and sorrow.
Oh, I like that, and sorrow. That's a really good one. How would you describe your character, your Terminator, in 5 words?
Vicious, dangerous, liquidy, with a hard nougat center.
Hard nougat center.
Oh man, just a bad motherfucker. I don't know if I can say that.
You can.
Just a bad motherfucker.
Can you describe your experience on working in this film in 5 words?
Wonderful, hard, loving. God. I want to choose the right. I'm very into my words, so I like to choose the.
Words
choose
mean
the right-
things.
Inspiring and rewarding.
How does it feel to jump on a franchise like this that is this iconic?
You dream of, as a child, you watch these films, and I grew up in a time where I was like right there at the genesis of like really when movies were able to mirror what we have in our imaginations. You have your Jurassic Park and your Ninja Turtles and your Batman, and all that's coming out, and Terminator 2 comes out, and it's just, for it to have endured and for it to live on as this great mythology of our time, and for it to still be so present and so relevant. I was just so thankful that I was alive and in a position to get lucky to join Linda and Arnold and the rest of the cast in continuation of the story.
Are there any Terminators in this movie that will give me the sad thumbs up moment that I need from Terminator 2?
I think this movie, hence the title Dark Fate, I think this is a dark movie. There's certain hallmarks of the franchise of lightness. There's humor in the movie, absolutely, but it's gritty and it's grim, and it's real. And we didn't pull any punches about what it's like to be chased by a robot who wants to kill first you and then the rest of humanity. So it's a dark story. And because that's what I feel the roots of the franchise are.
If there was any other Terminator robot that you could see give that iconic thumbs up from Terminator 2, who would you like to see give it?
Maybe one of the big robots from Neon Genesis. You ever seen Neon Genesis? Like maybe like giant, massive robot just kind of just going down. Maybe in a volcano, and just like. Shh.
Would that make you cry?
No, probably not. But it did when we were with Arnold, because you're just so invested and you love the character so much, and the friendship he and Eddie have, it's just really fantastic. So yeah.
That's so great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Pleasure to talk to you. Is a robot going to make me cry?
No, but you will cry.
Thank you so much for making me cry. I look forward to the experience, sir. Thank you.
Look at that beautiful smile on Danielle. She delights me and warms my heart just to see her. So there's lots of fun stuff going on at Comic-Con, and we're going to talk about all of it except for Unicron. That is the one thing we are not going to talk about.
Unicron denial is not good.
Eric has been on us for the past 2 days. We're thinking, we got to talk about Unicron. So tell me about this toy. Why is this toy so special?
And Billy's like, what's a Unicron? I heard Joe was as excited as I was.
Joe's doing some man on the street.
He is. He would love to talk about Unicron as well. He'd support me. Now, Unicron from Transformers the movie, the 1986 animated one, voiced by Orson Welles.
84.
No, that's when the franchise began.
Oh, okay.
35th anniversary. But 86 was the movie. Orson Welles voiced this character who was a Transformer who was the size of a planet, was a robot planet, changed into a robot. And they have at the Hasbro booth this toy that is going to be a $574 toy. It's one of those crowd-funded ones that they only make if enough people back it. And it's ridiculous, and it's the greatest thing ever. Look at the size of that sucker. Where do you put it? How do you avoid breaking it? I don't know. And do we have the second photo of the there? So I'm guessing it is not the simplest or quickest transformation technique, but just the fact that this exists delights me to no end. because we live in a time where, you know, people our age are like, yeah, I'll drop $600 on that.
You didn't get a demo then?
I did not get a demo. I was told they're actually going to release a video in the next couple weeks to show you how the transformation occurs.
But no toy to do it on?
No. I mean, but I was thinking like when you're a little kid and you bring your toys, like I remember having Transformers, like, you know, with my family at a restaurant, you know, like just playing. What if you brought that out? You know, it's like, you're going to put Unicron.
And the parents.
Right.
And the child.
And Chewie, you will respect Unicron.
I love Unicorn. It's almost as good as the horse that we
Can we
have
show
here at
the
the
horse?
Do
hotel.
we have a picture of the
Do we
horse?
have the
have
horse?
a picture of the horse.
Oh, we have a
Okay.
picture of the horse.
Here are sweet.
This is outside of the bathroom.
It's a full-sized horse. This is not like a statue. It's you could ride this thing minus the lamp on it.
When this was described to me, I pictured a crystal horse lit up from within.
Whoa. Yours is beautiful.
Wow, that's an amazing horse.
Yeah, and then I saw that. Yeah.
I'm just realizing that horse doesn't really give, that image of the horse doesn't really give scale.
It's
so
grandeur.
It's the
someone
size
should
of
sit on it.
It
and we
is the
should do-
Unicron of horse
Yeah.
statues.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Why bother with the lamp? Why somebody
Yeah.
just admit that you want a horse statue in your house? Like it's like we have to give it the illusion of functionality or no one will buy this. No, just own wanting a horse sculpture in your house.
It's not only that someone got paid to design it, but then someone that works for this hotel had to go buy the furniture. Was like, we need that one.
need
Like
the horse.
that's the one when you come out of the bathroom that's going to put this place on
And
the
it
map.
matches nothing else in the hotel.
Or everything. It's just fully horse
Everything.
themed.
going
So
on?
when that shows up on our set tomorrow, you'll know that we are the thieves and liars that you always imagined us to
We
be.
bought a duplicate one, obviously. At the
Yeah,
same
we
time, that one
purchased it.
disappeared.
Right
from this
behind
hotel.
our set, yeah. And then the other toy I wanted to mention.
Oh, there's more toys.
one more toy. I think you'll all be delighted because you're all going to know this character, even Chewie, which was the Hasbro breakfast where they put a bunch of their upcoming figures. They had an Avengers Endgame figure that everyone is waiting for, the God of Thunder himself.
Oh.
In all his glory.
There you
Look
go.
at that beautiful guy. Of course, they had to hide anything that showed that version of Thor in the marketing when Endgame was coming, but now they can reveal.
Did
that
they
you
say,
can get.
what are they calling him on the box? Did
Yeah.
they say?
Think
like,
just Thor. And it is always funny to see what the packaging is. Like, for instance, I saw that the final armor that Rhodey wears in Endgame is called Iron Patriot, because I noticed the colors were back to the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
But I think Thor is just Thor. I didn't see
Just
for
Thor.
sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know that had to be a lot of meetings. Like, what are
Oh,
they
yeah.
going to do? They can't call him what the people call him. They're not going to say Fat Thor on a
Yeah.
toy.
Right,
You know,
right.
like that's.
I've heard like Bro Thor.
Yeah.
and
Lebowski Thor, which is a different copyright altogether.
Sad Thor.
Sad.
Right. Aw.
Thor.
Mopey Thor, getting back his mojo Thor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess he is the dude.
He's the dude.
He's the dude.
I saw a guy walk by me as I was coming here, and I was like, I can't tell if he's dressed as the dude or Thor, or that's just how he looks. So I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So is that like Thude or Thor?
Dude, I like that.
Thude?
The Thude.
Yeah, no, door.
Dor?
Door.
Door.
That's a little confusing.
Door. It's like we're shipping Thor and the Dude.
Oh,
And I wrote some
absolutely
fanfic.
have.
You should.
Someone has.
Check
That's
out.
that rule.
Make
They have a
out.
meet cute.
Kim, what's your #1 Comic-Con thing that you've seen so far?
I don't know how you've had the time to look around, but I will say the Fandom Party, which we had last night, because we had Cirque du Soleil, but
We should have pictures of that ready, but we probably don't.
but this happened all right before the finale, the grand finale.
Yeah.
I went to the bar and I missed the guy
guy?
falling off the balcony, which was
Aw.
Set it up. So tell them
supposed
what
to
the
happen.
performance was.
okay. So there were bites.
Yeah. It was supposed to. Kim is not like really bummed that she missed someone falling.
No.
It was
Planned event.
Yes,
part of
the
the
gentleman is fine.
Oh my God! But the start, the fight on the balcony, the two guys
Yeah.
fighting,
Yeah, it was
and one of
great.
those was the
Live from our party.
This is footage from the Fandom Party last night.
It got really weird, you
crazy.
guys.
That's what I remember.
It got
We
really,
had
really weird.
No, but you should explain it.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure that nobody thought there was a terrible event that
no.
happened.
Kim's like, I missed it.
I want wanted to see the man die.
Us Brits, you know, what can I say? I think Ruth Wilson was making similar comments about being mean to children in the Starr Materials panel yesterday and had to explain she didn't mean it.
As an actor.
So there was a Cirque du Soleil performance at the Fandom Party last night, and they had motorcycles and they were dancing.
Their
and it was
upcoming
basically,
show coming to Vegas, Run.
Yeah. And they had like kind of a Jets versus Sharks thing, and they were like fighting, and there was up 2 stories up on a balcony, which they had removed basically the panel for. They did a fake fight, and then at the end, the finale of the performance was someone falling off the balcony, getting pushed off the balcony, but of course, he fell into a huge padded
Which I missed.
airbag, and it was fine, it was a stunt, but you did. It was a great moment.
It was, well, hopefully there's footage.
There is.
There is. I also thought about the people who are staying at the hotel and they're looking out their windows. Because if you're looking at there was people like 2 floors below, so they couldn't see the fight. No. All they see is a guy.
Some people look up and then a guy plummet past them.
I don't know what cheer.
Chewbacca, can I say what it was supposed to be?
I don't think there's any harm in saying.
Can I say
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So we were so excited in our office, and we had like a verbal hashtag, which was "Man on Fire," because they were supposed to set him on fire and drop him from the balcony. But then the fire marshal put the kibosh on it at the last minute. And then last night, when you realized that there were people on other balconies leaning over to watch the show,
Right.
it suddenly made so much sense.
It did, but it was a little sad because I didn't know. I did not know we were not going to have him on fire, so I was still delighted to watch him fall. But no.
You were
wasn't
still
on
waiting
fire.
for it, I suppose, when it came to an end.
Yeah.
Fire,
It was a bummer that they didn't light him on fire, but to make ourselves feel better, we did screen the film, which I highly recommend.
It was a very Joel Schumacher moment for me. It's like it was like a Batman movie.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
like
yeah, you
it was
mean
like
that.
every party in a Batman movie where you walk in and there's like people on motorcycles and
Not nearly as
and
much.
falling off.
But
of
not nearly
buildings.
as much neon.
Not as much neon.
Yeah.
Some neon though.
Just a little bit of neon.
So not just one, but 3 separate people after this event happened came up to me at the party, and they're like, "Oh my God, did you put that together?" And I was like, that is way too much credit. Robert Rodriguez directed that show. It's Cirque du Soleil. No, I don't direct Cirque du Soleil. But like,
And you
thank you
choreographed
for
it,
your
Roth?
amazing
Yeah.
feat.
You showed them how to do the motorcycle stunts. Then you'll do this.
And then the guy's gonna fall from the roof. It'll be amazing.
Well,
Don't be modest.
No, I did
Hands in it.
direct it. Yeah. Other con things? Have you seen things that you've liked so far?
I've very, very briefly been on the floor, literally for
Yeah.
maybe 20 minutes. It's yesterday I was around here just kind of seeing if things were going to break, and then we had a few interviews, so I haven't seen a whole lot. I saw, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a lady wearing a hat, like a hat like this, and I thought it was Handmaid's Tale cosplay, but it was just a lady wearing a sun hat.
I just want you to do a disappointing Comic-Con.
But no, I was on the. I will say the floor. What I saw on the floor yesterday was actually kind of nice because it was Thursday. It was not as crowded as the floor usually is.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to sort of walk around and see some things. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of the convention in the next couple of days as we go out and shoot, and then just personal, free time here and there. But it's been pretty chill convention. I think largely because it's a bit of a different convention year than usual. So.
There's all those off-site activations have become kind of the huge thing in recent years. Nothing will ever top Demolition Man Taco Bell from last year.
Right.
It's the greatest experience of my life. But Danielle Radford Danielle got to go to the Amazon one. There's an article up, I know, on Fandom about that, and see the Carnival Row stuff they have there.
Hashtag plug.
And the boys and Expanse. They all did that. But I went to the reason I got to SJU yesterday all hot and flush and sweaty was because I went to the Brooklyn Nine-Nine one right before I came over here. And as a huge Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan, that was very fun. It's very cool. They do this thing where it's like there's the orientation video. You walk in and they're recruiting you for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And then you go in, and it's almost like a game, and they've recreated the set of the show, like the bullpen of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but they're giving you tasks, and they're having you run around and all these. So they have the desks of the main characters there, but you're told to run up to people and kind of. And they've locked up some Comic-Con cosplayers, a lewd Tinkerbell. It was really fun. You feel the time pressure because you want to see as much as you can, but at the same time, you have tasks to complete. But our group won. We were the. Yeah, thank you. Oh, look at the crimes committed. There was a bunch of very good. There was some good Comic-Con.
Was that Rick Astley?
I think that might have been. They had video from the cast, and they had Andy Samberg make a really wonderful Comic-Con reference to something about how Dark Phoenix. How dare you act like she didn't show the Phoenix powers in Apocalypse and like we never saw them before. It's like,
But
you know
it
your
is
audience.
a problem in the movie.
I know, I know.
It is an
I know,
inherent
but
issue with that
they
film.
had Sandberg say that, so they knew what they were doing. So, Brooklyn, if you can get to that activation, of course you have to wait in a long line. I saw, we were talking earlier about like there was people getting there at like 4 a.m. I guess I'm a big 9/9 fan. Those people were bigger fans than I am.
Oh,
so.
wow. I'm just impressed for the show at that point, to be honest with you. Wow.
Pretty cool.
Well, Comic-Con, we've talked about this a little bit, and this trajectory has happened over the last few years, but certainly you're seeing it the most this year. It's really more of a television event now than it is for movies. There's like fewer and fewer studios, as we know, coming with movies. This is really more about TV at this point, which is interesting to see how that'll unfold over the next couple of years.
And because TV is this ongoing relationship, and a show like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which of course I understand has no genre element to it. I mean, it's just made by people we like. But it's a show with this intensely loyal audience. They're doing a panel here. People are going to be just really excited to see them. So it almost makes sense, like, it's this, ongoing thing versus a movie where they have to sell you, and maybe you'll like the footage, maybe you won't.
Yeah.
But a TV show, you kind of know if it's a returning show especially, it's like, they love us already.
Or if it's a show based on a property.
Yeah.
Is it
sorry.
I was just going to say, is it time to maybe separate movies and TV? Because they've been increasingly becoming more similar, haven't they? So maybe it's time.
But they're similar, I think, in a lot of ways, and obviously actors are going back and forth, but they can't, it's hard. MCU, as we talked about, the MCU feels like one big TV show. It's one of the few times you can replicate that relationship. That like, we watch these characters over many years and evolve and grow, and that's hard for even a franchise to replicate. MCU is one of the few times because there's so many movies and it's gone on so long where I feel like you have that same relationship.
I feel like Breaking Bad helped usher in where we are now as far as because we've mentioned before how on the movie front, Twilight was one of the first ones that proved that this could be a broader movie event than just genre films. But I think Breaking Bad was a show that through Comic-Con showed that like, we can bring anything here. If it has a big enough following, we could bring, it doesn't have to be Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, like we could bring a show that's not a genre show but just as popular and do a Hall H panel, and I feel like you're seeing more and more and more of that now. Of people just coming in and just being like, well, if you get enough of a fandom, that we think coincides with Comic-Con, then we'll just bring that, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Bad people were cosplaying. There was action figures. It's like it had all the elements of a genre show without being.
Breaking Bad stars were cosplaying as themselves.
They were. They were. That was kind of scary, but
Terrifying but funny.
Yeah.
Terrifying but funny. That's
Like
what we aim for. Like cats, not unlike cats. And Dan, thank you for the hashtag plug. Watch our Twilight documentary. Thank you so much if you haven't already watched it. Kim, what's the thing? Tomorrow we're going to be back. We have SJU in the morning. We are going to cover all of the Marvel news that comes out in the afternoon during the panel. And then after the panel, we'll do a recap of that as well as any other news that breaks. If it's big enough, we'll deal with that too. We'll just be like, it's news. And you, what are you looking forward to?
Tomorrow or today?
It doesn't matter.
Well,
Whatever.
life and life.
Well,
Do you have plans for the next couple of months?
have you got time? Have you got time?
We've got like 5 minutes.
I'm not going to this today, but the Dark Crystal panel.
Oh my God.
I'm excited for it. I mean, it just looks amazing, doesn't it? And we haven't got long to wait for it now. August the 30th, I think it comes out. So
I cannot wait. Oh my God. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm a huge Dark Crystal fan, as we've brought up here before. And by the way, the only person that's been appropriately also excited about this so far is Kim here. So guess who just got a raise?
Dang. I see how it works.
Jim Henson's the best.
Mystics.
You want to talk
it.
collaborative?
Gelflings are the best.
I'm right there with you.
Talk about FizzGig. Let's talk about FizzGig.
I do love FizzGig. All right, raises all around. Yeah, I'm very, very excited for the Dark Crystal panel, and we're actually, none of us are going because we were all booked up. So what we're going to do is do a little segment called Joe's Wife Screams About the Dark Crystal. We're going to send Joe's wife, who is also a huge fan, and then she's going to pop on SJU, I think tomorrow, and tell us about the panel. So that'll be really fun.
Awesome. Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad we've got a man or a woman on the inside.
Yeah, on the inside of that panel. Chewy, what are you looking forward to?
Chewy.
I am looking forward to driving home.
Oh.
Chewy, what does Chewy drive?
You know, Han lets me borrow the Falcon. He's pretty cool about it.
All right.
What did Danny Fernandez say? Han Solo is just a middle-aged man that just lives in his car. Yeah, that's about on brand.
Yeah.
Staring into
Okay.
his
Well, that
eyes.
was a grimmerish note to end things on. So Kim, bring us back up.
This whole time I've been waiting. The Russo brothers panel just let out, and I was waiting. Like, what's the big thing? They're announced a lot of cool movies. Magic: The Gathering is going to be an animated movie on Netflix. They're doing a remake of the Thomas Crown Affair, some other stuff, but that was about it. There's
Who's the big guest?
They had video questions from all the Avengers actors, but none of them showed up in person. So, yeah,
But you know
a lot
what?
of
The
people were
Marvel
wanting
Studios
for.
panel's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There might be some
Yeah.
surprises
Yeah.
there. Thank you so much for joining us live, Kim. It's so glad to get to have you here with us.
Thank you
in
for having
person.
me.
Manifest.
Yeah. Usually we're
Tired,
just
jet-lagged.
looking at her on a computer screen. Yeah. Kim's amazing. If you don't know Kim's work, you should know Kim's work. She does the junkets for us in the UK. She writes beautifully. She oversees a lot of our really cool articles. She's just brilliant and altogether awesome. Big hand for Kim. Thank you.
Chewy, you better be clapping.
Oh, damn it! Where's my sound effect?
I can see there's a little
Yeah, go
wiggle
for it.
in those arms.
Chewy was feeling it. Thank you guys.
Wow.
Oh, God. We are a mess. Thank you for joining us today. If you stayed through the whole show, you are our #1 favorite person. And we hope to see you tonight at our panel live and in person, where we're putting words together in a string that will make more sense than what I just did in the last hour. Bye. Because Dan's there. Dan's going to do it.